Welcome back to the GT Counter podcast. This is Tyler. That's Grayson. What a weekend of college football. Maybe our best weekend yet, if I do say so myself. Lot going on. A lot going on. So, G, how you doing, big dog?
Oh, I'm not sure where I stand right now. It was a sad evening. Um, my Raiders didn't play football today. They get to play football tomorrow. So it's just kind of you're just kind of indifferent. I would feel a whole lot better if the Cowboys would have lost today to the Giants. That would have brought some joy to me. I was happy to see the Chiefs lose today, so that's nice. That's promising.
Good day
Nothing
for
like
America.
Yeah, if the Raiders start 2-0 and the Chiefs start 0-2, that would have been on nobody's bingo card. So, could be awesome.
You'll be parading down the streets of Guthrie with that news.
Yes, indeed. We'll be leading the AFC West if we win tomorrow, which would be incredible.
Y'all are the late game, right? Y'all don't kick till like what, 9:00?
Yeah, it's very late. It's very late. Yep.
That'll be a tough one. Get your coffee ready.
Yeah, it's hard. Fantasy makes you not want to root for the Raiders tomorrow because they got G Herbert and Keenan Allen playing tomorrow. So it's hard to find a balance.
It really is. It really is. But one place it's not hard to find a balance. I guess we'll just start right here. Notre Dame loses to Texas A&M 41-40. Tyler Buckner botches the hold on the extra point to go up 41-34. So stays at 40. Goal line, it's fourth in the game there from like the 11 or 12. And Marcel Reed throws up a pass to the tight end. Jump ball, it's caught. They make the extra point. Game's over. A complete polar opposite of the game from last year, which was like 23-13. And even then, that might be giving the offenses too much credit. This game was all offense all the time. Chris Ash, not very good. I know you're going to get into that. I thought both offenses I thought they schemed some things up pretty well. Like Marcel Reed was under 50% completions, but he threw it for 360 yards. He averaged over 20 yards per completion. It's insane. The chunk plays that A&M's getting off their passing game. And to Notre Dame's credit, I thought they ran the ball really well with Love and Price. I thought CJ Carr was good at times. Obviously, the pick wasn't great, but it was just the one turnover. So he didn't necessarily lose you the ball game. It's just that he couldn't get the stops when he needed it. So I'll kind of wind you up there, and I'll let you go from here. So Notre Dame loses by 1. They fall to 0-2. They hang in at 24 in this latest AP poll. I'll get your thoughts on all of it.
Yeah, I liked the offense a whole lot better this week. They came out with it seemed like the game plan was to really get Jeremiah Love and Jadarion Price active in the run game. Saw a lot of Wildcat stuff, which, I think you liked. I'm not the biggest fan of the Wildcat. I think it makes you super one-dimensional, and then teams just stack the box. And unless you're Army or Navy and you're running triple option, there's 18 different variations of things you can do out of it. It's hard to run that. Now, for granted, if Mike Denbrock comes out next week against Purdue and throws a touchdown out of the Wildcat, then maybe that would be a great play. Show a lot of Wildcat this week, or if he does it against Arkansas, who knows? I think at some point in time, Denbrock will cook up a pass with Jadarion Price out of the Wildcat. But I just think it makes us too one-dimensional there. CJ Carr played well. That interception he threw was bad, but he's a young player, hasn't played that many games. I don't know. I think we need to figure out the whole foot situation where he's got his feet staggered when he's showing pass and he's got his feet squared when he's going to run the ball. Everybody in the country is going to pick up on that I'm sure Texas A&M picked up on that about through halftime. Yeah,
they probably knew that going into the game. They probably got that off to Miami tape, and it was just this game that they chose to release it. So honestly, good for you guys that A&M decided to put that out there, because otherwise the teams could have just silently picked up on that for the entire year if it didn't get fixed.
Well, A&M's thought process is Notre Dame needs to win as many games as they possibly can at this point in time. And Notre Dame's thought process is we better pray Miami and Texas A&M go undefeated. I mean, seriously, we better hope that they don't lose a game the rest of the year. So, which in Miami's case, outside of Florida State, they might not lose a game the rest of the year. I mean, blatantly honest with you, they don't play anybody in the ACC. That's anything.
Yep.
So they're very likely to go undefeated. I thought USF was probably going to be their next hardest game on their schedule, and they dog walked them, which we'll talk about that later, I'm sure. Chris Ash is horrible. Why we thought that a 4-20 head coach from Rutgers was going to be the dude for us. This guy has bounced around more places. I mean, he's been around more places than a Crown bottle at a party. I mean, he's just everywhere. He never stays at somewhere for more than one season. He was at the Raiders for 2 years as the defensive backs coach. And if anybody knows anything about the Raiders, our defensive backs are horrible. We have the worst corners in all of the NFL. We've been trying to get a corner for a decade, and we'd hate to draft one. Instead, we draft people like Tyree Wilson, like idiots. Anyways, we could have got Christian Gonzalez in that draft. What an idiot. Anyways, keeping going on down the list. It's just bad. I had flashbacks of Charlie Wise era with that defense last night. I mean, it's just bad. You couldn't stop. I mean, you couldn't stop anything. You could not stop anything. It was A&M hopped on the field, and it was a hot knife through butter every single drive. They threw the ball wherever they wanted to throw to. They ran the ball whenever they wanted to run it. It was just, I mean, 7.1 yards per play for the Aggies. 7.1 per play. Like,
do you know how many tackles for loss Notre Dame had last night?
I know we did. I know we have yet to record a sack in a football game in 2 games.
So you had 2 tackles for loss last night against Texas A&M, and they ran 70 some odd plays.
Yep.
And you had 2 tackles for loss against Miami. So in 120 minutes of football, we're looking at 4 total TFLs.
Yep.
It's not very good.
Not a single sack. We have yet to record a sack in 2 games of football. I don't even know if we've hurried a quarterback in 2 games of football. I mean, Carson Beck stood back there. He could have been sitting in a chair with the football in his hand, and nobody would have touched him. I mean, he didn't even have to move.
Yeah. I mean, you just wonder where this game would have been if y'all didn't block the punt on that first drive. And, that was, you're out 7-0 at 17-7 at one point.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe who knows what the game looks like if that block punt doesn't happen. So, I mean, obviously Notre Dame special teams is something they pride themselves on. But golly, man, you block a punt for a touchdown, you stake yourself to a 10-point lead pretty early on. That's one you feel like you got to capitalize and finish off.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, the biggest thing Notre Dame is missing defensively is, one, we don't have that key safety player that we've had for the last decade. Like, we just don't. We don't have Hamilton. We don't have Xavier Watts. Like, we just don't have a guy back there that's a dude that's systematically calling this defense. Schuler is not that good. And he gets a targeting penalty. So now that was not a targeting penalty, but whatever. Schuler gets a targeting penalty. Then he's out the game, and now we have a backup in there who Schuler wasn't even good in the first place, like compared to what we've had. And then you have 2 small-body defensive tackles. I mean, Notre Dame is missing a middle interior up front presence like it's never been seen before. I mean, I didn't think losing Riley Mills and losing Howard Cross was going to be that big of a deal for this defense, but we do not have a DT that wants to play football. We are extremely unphysical. And that's defensive line-wise and offensive line-wise. We are not a physical football team right now, and Marcus Freeman needs to do a lot of soul-searching in the next 7 weeks of football if he thinks we're going to be able to compete at any kind of level.
I think the defensive line is going to be okay because Miami and Texas A&M are 2 of the 5 best offensive lines in college football. So, I mean, yes, you would like to see them have more than 4 combined TFLs in those 2 games. But, I mean, you're not going to. I mean, look at USF yesterday. There was just nothing doing there. So Miami's capable of doing that to people, and Texas A&M, as we'll get on down the road with them, they're going to be capable of doing that to some teams. So, it kind of is what it is there. The part that I'm more worried about is secondary. You hit on it. There's nobody over the top that, keeps everybody in line. You've got the umbrella over everybody to not allow the big play. Mario Craver had 207 yards receiving yesterday on 7 catches. He was averaging about 30 yards a pop. That's not very good. That's not very Notre Dame-esque from what I'm used to seeing out of a Marcus Freeman defense. So whether it's Freeman getting more hands-on, whether it's Ash kind of rethinking some things or players just playing better, I mean, something's probably got to change here. And granted, the competition level is going to get a little bit lower. Got Purdue, like you said, and about the only other big game you've got coming up is USC. But beyond that, I mean, I think Notre Dame will scale up and be okay. But 0-2 is certainly not the place you wanted to be.
We do play a scary road game at Arkansas. That is, and I know we're not high on Arkansas's defense, but that offense can straight up ball. So
they can put up points. That is for sure. Put up
points. So if we're in a dogfight, point battle, the same exact way we were in a point battle yesterday, could be an interesting game.
Yeah, Taylon's kind of Marcel Reed-esque in the way that he's kind of mobile, and Taylon's just got a cannon of an arm. He'll throw you the ball, but he's got an absolute cannon back there. So we'll see about that one. That's in a couple weeks, right? Sometime in late September.
2 weeks, September 27th.
Yep. That'll be a good weekend, by the way. That's Georgia and Alabama that weekend, and a couple other. I think Penn State, Oregon that weekend.
How about the biggest thing of all, Ryder Cup?
That's right. We got Ryder Cup. I saw Scotty Scheffler won today out in California. So surprise.
Surprise. The best in golf wins every time he steps out there on the field. It's unbelievable.
Exactly. Well, anything else Notre Dame A&M wise here? I guess we can talk Aggies a bit. Their schedule's kind of manageable.
Yeah, I think Texas A&M is good to an extent. I think defensively, they're iffy, but maybe at the same time, maybe Notre Dame's offense is actually pretty decent. Like I told you after the Miami game that I was very suspect on Miami's defense after the game. And I said that Notre Dame had played a really bad game on offense. And I think that we could have scored 40 points on Miami the same way we scored 40 points on Texas A&M. I think Notre Dame's offense is really good, but I think for the first time in a very, very long time, defensively, we are not a juggernaut. We are, this year, through 2 games, we are 133 in the country in total yards allowed per game. In the last 2 seasons, we were number 4 and number 3. We were on average the number 5 allowed yardage per game under Al Golden. Number 5 in the country for 3 seasons. And then we go to 133 in a year. What? How?
Not very good. Not very good.
Chris Ash is an abomination.
10 games left and a lot of competition isn't going to be as good as what you've seen though so far. So cautiously optimistic. I'll buy off some Notre Dame stock from you if you're ready to sell.
Well, I think Texas A&M has a very manageable schedule, like you said. I mean, they have a couple of tough. I mean, the thing is it's hard to tell how good the SEC is. It really is right now. Auburn's ranked 22 in the country, but if they lose to OU this weekend, they'll be unranked. Mississippi State is a corpse. Florida, if DJ Lagway throws you 5 picks every game, is a corpse. I'm still not sure how good Arkansas is. That team might have quit by October 18th. LSU is LSU. Not sure how good they are. Clemson lost.
Yeah.
I actually kind of think Missouri's pretty decent. I would buy stock in Missouri. South Carolina's not good. Samford's not good. I think that you could see Texas A&M going into Austin with 1 or 2 losses on the year. Going into Austin.
Wouldn't be surprised at all. It's a good team, especially if they stay healthy.
Yep. So,
let's talk about another good team. Georgia. that game against Tennessee yesterday, they come out 44-41. They win in overtime. Joey Aguilar, first 3 drives, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. They're up 21-7 on Georgia. But then the big plays kind of dried up for a minute. During the middle of the game, Georgia dominated. At one point, they scored, I believe, 20 in a row unanswered before Tennessee kind of fought back into it. Tennessee found themselves up 8 with just over 2 minutes left. Then they get a touchdown and 2-point conversion from Georgia to tie the game at 38. Tennessee drives the field. They've got a 43-yarder from the left hash to win the game. And the kicker, I mean, you could see it on his face when they zoomed in on him right before he's about to kick. That dude was seeing ghosts, and that kick was pushed wide right. Tennessee gets the ball first, start overtime, gets stalled out. They do make the kick this time, so they're up 3. And then Georgia they pop a big run on the first down play, and it's one more play, and they punch it in from the goal line. So Georgia wins. That's it's a character win from Georgia because they didn't have it early. Tennessee was kind of hitting some lucky deep shots. Like Aguilar's stats are going to look really good, but he threw 2 picks and he could have easily thrown like 3 or 4 more. If like some of these jump balls as receivers, that Brazil dude, just absolutely had himself a day. And he had a couple of jump balls that could have easily been picked, but he caught them. So goes in the stats as big plays.
I thought that one touchdown was 100% offensive pass interference, where he grabs onto his shoulder pad and pushes him off. And
yeah,
I'm very shocked that wasn't called.
That was a kneel and whistle. That's one that they aren't blowing at that home field.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was a little bit worried about Georgia at first because that first drive of the game when Tennessee came out, I mean, it was 7 plays, 1 minute and 30 seconds, and they went right down the field and scored. And I was like, holy crap, Tennessee is a wagon. I was like, oh, no. And the worst part is we were talking about it earlier in the day, and we said, man, I got a lot of bets riding on Georgia today. I hope they don't lose.
Down 14 immediately. It's like, this is good.
No, Tennessee is a wagon. We're in trouble. But, yeah, I mean, it was a great game. I think that if this game was played in Georgia, it's probably a different outcome. Georgia might have gave them the business at their home field. But, yeah, it was, great game nonetheless. I was really impressed with Tennessee, a team that I did not think was that good coming into this game. Had a lot of questions about them. Still have a lot of questions about both of these teams. Genuinely. So, I don't know. I
just have a background trust level with Georgia in terms of, you see it from, it's Gunnar Stockton comes in, and granted last year he didn't look very good against Notre Dame. Didn't look great in these first 2 games, but sure enough, they go on the road. He's 23 of 31 for 304 yards and 2 touchdowns. He got strip sacked because his offensive line wasn't great. But it's just it's plug and play with Georgia, man. They had a good ground game. They ran it for almost 200 yards. I was impressed, man. I really, really was, because I had a lot more questions about Georgia coming into this year than I have about a Georgia team in a while. And they go on the road into a hostile environment. Say what you will about Tennessee as a team, but that's a tough place to go win a football game. And they did, man. They did. They were down 14 early, come all the way back. It's impressive. They were 8 of 17 on third down. Stockton only just the 1 turnover. They were +2 in turnovers, and that's kind of it, man. That's kind of it. So you love, if you're a Dog fan, that's a good one to get. And Tennessee, I think they're going to be okay. I do, just because I think that Georgia's unique, but that defense is concerning. Syracuse is not very good. They almost lost to UConn, and Syracuse ran it up and down the field on them. Georgia ran it up and down the field on them. In the SEC, there's going to be some offenses who can go up and down on you, and if Tennessee can't get stops, it doesn't matter how good the offense is. You're not going to be able to – you can play in as many shootouts as you want, but you're probably not going to come out ahead in those situations. So worry about the defense a little bit, but both offenses were fantastic.
And I'll tell you one thing, Tennessee's schedule is not conducive for them to play shootouts with some of these teams. They play Arkansas, which Arkansas is ready to play a shootout with you. They play Oklahoma, where that defense is so dang good. If your defense is awful, you are going to run into trouble with Oklahoma. I mean, if Oklahoma scores 28 to 35 points in any given game, they're probably going to win. That defense is a wagon. I mean, the defense is really good. Florida, Vanderbilt, teams that are ready to. I mean, DJ Lagway, if he could not throw 5 completions to the other team, they'll be perfectly fine. They'll be able to score on offense. So I don't know. Tennessee's, like you said, Tennessee's defense is questionable, but offensively they're good. They have some freak athletes, and I think they'll struggle against any team that makes them drive the length of the field 12, 15 play drives, because I think they're built for 6, 7, 5-play drives. They're not built to dog it out.
This is not last year's Tennessee that could run the ball for 250 yards and Nico could kind of dink and dunk you down. This is like those Hendon Hooker teams that needed shot plays, that needed the big chunks to get down the field. Aguilar's not going to be patient enough to just sit there and take 8 yards a pop. He's going to need the big play. So if that goes away, and you saw it in the middle of the game, Georgia started taking that away. What happened to Tennessee's offense? It was not very good. So they are it's a shot play offense, and it's volatile. So you'll have some games where you hit them and some games where you don't. So in this one, it's probably disappointing for them because they hit them and they still lost. So it's unfortunate for them, but fantastic game nonetheless. There were several games that came down to the wire, and that was one of them. So anything else there before we head on to the next one?
I just want to add one last thing to this. It blows my mind. We're watching this game, and Georgia's line was 3.5 points, and we're sitting there on the sofa, and one of my buddies is playing in this spread league with there's 20 people in it. They put $10 in every week, and they pick 10 games for the spread, and everybody picks on the same 10 games. Well, he picked Georgia at 3.5. And he goes, "Let's go. Georgia's going to score a touchdown, and I'm going to cover." I said, "They're not going to kick the extra point." He goes, "Oh, crap. How does Vegas know? How do they know? How do they know?"
They're good at their jobs, man. 3.5 was – because that line started at 7, got bet all the way down to 3.5.
Yeah.
And, it never touched 3. Because if it did, I would have hammered it. And
that's a scary line. So.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. You know what else is scary? Clemson these days. They lose to Georgia Tech 24-21. Haynes King, absolute madman. They run the fire drill field goal there with, they run a play with, I think, 25 seconds left. No timeouts. They get stuff. They only gain a yard or two. Run the kicker on. He's got a 55-yarder. He's got to get set up, and he just drills it. That thing would have been good from 65. Had an absolute cannon. Georgia Tech 3-0 for the first time in 10 years. Clemson 1-2. I don't know if this is an overreaction, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think Clemson's dead. I don't think they have anything this year. I think we're done here.
The biggest problem is that their schedule is not hard. In the ACC, they could very well have that one loss in the ACC and make it in, just the exact same thing as they were last year. Though, if they go undefeated the rest of the way through, make it to the ACC championship, which would involve them having to beat Florida State, which is a tough game. But if you beat Florida State, you probably go undefeated all the way through. You play in an ACC championship with one loss. And then you win the ACC championship and you get in exactly how they did it last year. And it sucks. And for Notre Dame, it really sucks. Because Clemson gets in with 3 losses, and I don't think if Clemson was to get in, it would be really hard for Notre Dame to get in at that point in time. Systematically, that's just how it looks. So even if they lose, they could lose to South Carolina, and you could have 4-loss Clemson get into the playoffs. Or 3 loss.
That would be tough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it'll see how everything shakes down. That Florida State game is the biggest game on their schedule this year. So
definitely. And for this game, Clemson, man, they outgained GT. And granted, some of the box score stuff is fluky, but they were -2 in turnovers. They lost a fumble. Klubnik threw a pick, and that's all GT needs, man. They were up 13-0. They were playing from out in front the whole game, basically. I can't say enough about Haynes King, Brent Key, kind of that whole program. I mean, it's remarkable what they're doing, man. They play a very unique. It's kind of Vandy-ish in a way, in the way that they just like Haynes King is a complete maniac. Like when he just gets the football, it's head down, and he's just the toughest dude out there, man. And they have a good stable of backs with Jamal Haynes and some good receivers. They're really, really good, man. I couldn't be more impressed with what GT is as a team.
As long as Haynes King stays healthy, they're going to be a very hard team to beat. I mean, he had 103 yards on the ground, 211 in the air. They're going to be really hard to beat if he's healthy. And I think something really cool could happen rivalry weekend, because if you go and take a look at Georgia Tech's schedule, they play a bunch of nobodies the rest of the year. You get Temple, Wake Forest, VT, Duke, Syracuse, North Carolina State, Boston College, Pittsburgh. They're not going to drop any of those games. And then you see yourself playing at home against Georgia in your rivalry game, and both teams are potentially undefeated. And that's feeding families. That game would feed families. So, and if it's anything like how it was last year, that'd be an incredible watching party. That's for dang sure.
Absolutely. I just have a ton of respect for that Georgia Tech team. It's really cool to see. So, some other notables from yesterday's action. We've got several interesting games. Pitt blew a 10-point fourth quarter lead to West Virginia to lose in overtime 31-24 in the backyard brawl. That was tough as a big Pitt guy this year. Very unfortunate, but they were 4 of 17 on third down, just averaged 4.8 yards a play. So could have set offensive football back awfully far. They just had no run game. It was Holstein and nobody else. So unfortunate there, but it's good to have the backyard brawl in our lives. That game is a lot of hate in that one.
Yeah, it was that was one of those games we had to do on the pick'em, and I really loved Pittsburgh to win that game, and it was my pick'em was really bad yesterday, to say the least. And Notre Dame was just the cherry on top of all my picks. So just awesome weekend.
Yeah. Miami blows out USF 49-12. I kind of saw that one coming. I remember last week we were talking about it and kind of thought this was the point where USF has a letdown. And yeah, it was a letdown, but they're healthy. They got their marquee wins. If they go win the American, they're going to make it. But yeah, certainly losing by 37 is not the best way to go, but it is what it is.
You think dropping them out of the top 25 is kind of an overreaction after that game?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, I think their ceiling is very well established, and yesterday was, kind of a comedy of a lot of errors. Bad spot. Miami's off a bye, pretty much. They were playing like an FCS school. So, I mean, it's kind of just situationally and otherwise, it wasn't a great place for them. So it is what it is. But it was, it was a good run. They got their 2 marquee wins. Winning at Florida, no matter what Florida turns out to be, that one's going to carry weight. And so is the Boise one. So they'll be okay. But that's definitely disappointing for sure.
100%.
Arkansas and Ole Miss, tons and tons of points. That game was like 31-28 at half. Ole Miss ends up winning by 6, 41-35. We were talking about Arkansas's offense. They went for 526 yards yesterday. They're humming. They are humming right now. Ole Miss started a backup quarterback, only puts up 41 points, 475 yards of offense, and goes 8 for 12 on third down. Yeah. Any good?
I think they found a new starter in Trinidad. I mean, he was impressive. He was
D2's finest. He went to Ferris, right?
Yeah. Yep. And he had 3 touchdowns by himself. He played really well. I don't know what you would expect from a guy that was coming off a national championship for him to be bad. But yeah.
He was 350 through the air, 60 on the ground, 3 tuds, like you said. Great game from him.
Yeah, he let it hang. He let that thing hang. That's for dang sure.
Yeah, you do love to see it. Some other notable ones here. We'll get scrolling a little bit. LSU beat Florida. We've been talking about this one a little bit. They win 20-10. DJ Lagway throws 5 interceptions, and they still only lose by 10 points, which is kind of wild. LSU's offense potentially broken. I know Brian Kelly was not all that thrilled about it when he was asked at his post-game presser, calling a reporter that they were spoiled when they were asking about whether or not the offense was broken. So interesting to say the least. Bold strategy there by BK, but I wouldn't expect anything else from him.
Yeah, Brian's just a lovely guy, man. He's like, we just won a football game, and all you want to talk about is what was up on 3rd down and what's going on with the offense. Why we can't run the ball? We ran the ball in the last play of the game. We ran it one good time. That's all that matters. I'm like, this guy is a clown.
And then did you see that interception that Nussmeier threw there? He was rolling to his right, and then he throws it back across his body to the middle of the field late, and it's behind him. It's the worst pick you'll ever see in your life. And Brian Kelly just berates poor Nussmeier on his way to the bench over there. It's like, oh my gosh, man.
I remember the days, man. BK is he's a horrible coach. He is genuinely terrible.
Yeah, there are some days where it's like, how do you play for that guy?
He'll never take blame for anything. If they end up losing a playoff game or something, if they make it to the playoff, when they lose games in the SEC, it'll be Nussmeier's fault. Or it will be this defense's fault because it's not Brian Kelly's. That's for dang sure.
Anybody but BK.
I'm sure Ian Book just has a picture of Brian Kelly sitting on his wall, and he just throws darts at it every night. Just hums darts.
Probably so. USC beat Purdue only by 16. That game was weird. Bunch of rain delays. USC's 380-pound defensive tackle ran a pick 6 back. That was fun, representing the big guys there. Purdue's not very good, so kind of is what it is. Weird game, but USC is now ranked 25th in the poll, so I'd say it's deserving, although they really haven't played anybody. They get Michigan State next week before then getting they play somebody big the week after that. I forget who it is. Oregon? No, Oregon plays Penn State that week. It'll come to me. They play somebody important here in the next couple weeks. So, but yes, it is. I do think it is notable that they are now ranked for the first time this year. So, is what it is. Iowa State played a weird game at Arkansas State yesterday. They only won by 8. They were favored by like 3 touchdowns. They were losing at one point, like right before halftime. So just happy for them to get out of it. I think they have a bye coming up, which after playing in Ireland and some weird travel, they probably much needed. So good for them to get out of there. They're the only 4-0 team in the country. So the Clones are in good shape to start the Big 12 race. Wrapping up some of the late games here. Vandy beat South Carolina 31-7. Lenore Sellers got knocked out of that game, but I don't even know if they win that game with him. Vandy was swarming last night, man. I didn't get to see much of it since I was watching. I basically had all my attention on Notre Dame A&M, but South Carolina is not as good as people thought they were.
Defensively, they have taken a big step down on defense compared to last year. And I love Lenore Sellers, but they're not playing. They haven't found their groove offensively, and they haven't built enough confidence as an offensive unit. So they're struggling big time.
They play Mizzou this week too, and Mizzou's dangerous, especially coming off a bye week. So
Mizzou is humming on offense.
They are. Yes, they are. Stanford got a win last night. Congrats to the Cardinal. They beat Boston College 30-20 as 2 touchdown underdogs. So Good for Stanford. They are not going to go 0-12, unlike potentially UCLA, who lost and then got their coach fired. We'll get to that here in a second.
How bad is Michigan State?
Some of the mid and lower tier teams in the Big Ten, your Wisconsin on down, not very good. Not very good at all. Even Minnesota yesterday, they lose to Cal 27-14. That game was a little bit weird. Minnesota went up 14-10. Cal immediately walks down and scores. Minnesota gets a stop, but then Coy Parrish muffs the punt. So then Cal gets the ball right back on first and goal, and they go score. So kind of flipped the game there, right there. But I got to say, Cal's quarterback, Sago Pelatele, he's a true freshman lefty. He's not going to be a Cal next year. That kid's legitimately very, very good.
Well, he was an Oregon commit, and then Dante Moore went there, and then he decommitted because he wanted to play. But yeah, he'll go get a bag in the portal this upcoming season. I hope. Hopefully, I'm not saying he's going to come to Notre Dame because we don't need him, but hopefully he doesn't go to somebody that we get to play. Let's keep him the heck away.
Not to USC or Oregon again or anything like that.
Nah, keep him away. He'll go SEC. He can go to Mississippi State.
Yeah. I mean, LSU might. No, they got Mississippi State. They got Van Buren from last year. I forgot about that. He's just waiting there. Yeah, he's going to be destined for a big school there. So, kid's an absolute stud. He can play. Let's talk some coach firing, shall we? So, today we've got two coaches who got shown the door. Brent Pry at Vatech and Deshaun Foster at UCLA, both now on the unemployment line. I didn't think that would happen right now, but those were definitely the two at the top of my list of guys who are going to get fired at some point. Like Brent Pry, Vatech was once a proud program under Beamer back in the day, and yeah, they just are not very close to winning anything at all. Like yesterday against Old Dom, they just straight up didn't show up. They were down 31-0 at halftime in Lane Stadium. I mean, they might have lost to their FCS team next week if Brent Pry was still the head coach. So I think a move had to be made there. Obviously, it's unfortunate to see a guy get fired, but I mean, that team was corpse. They might still be a corpse, but I mean, that was their only chance to get anything out of this year was to fire him.
We'll lend Vatech Chris Ash. We'll do them a favor. They can have.
Yeah, we don't need a DC. Just send him over there. Let Freeman do the DC job, and he'll be fine.
Yeah. Now, if Vatech was smart, they would go and go collect Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator off the Raiders and hire him on as a head coach at BT and throw him an absolute freaking bag if they want to win.
I saw some scuttlebutt potentially that maybe Jimbo Fisher. He's got some Virginia ties. He might be interested in that.
You think the next? Sorry, this is completely off topic. You think the next coach to get fired? I think Billy Napier is. After that loss, Billy Napier is extremely in the hot seat, big time.
Oh yeah.
And I'd love to see Urban Meyer go back to Florida. I'm just saying that Florida job,
stinky herb.
That Florida job will be one that is high in demand. Florida will get whoever they want because that Florida team, the name of being a blue blood like Florida, you can win games, you can get recruits. That's going to be a high in demand job.
Sneaky one, Luke Fickell at Wisconsin. I mean, they got blown out by Bama yesterday. Tough Big Ten schedule. I don't know if things go off the rails there. Fickell could be easily among the next fired.
Yeah.
And then UCLA, after getting blown out by New Mexico on Friday night, parted ways with Deshaun Foster today. You can see this one coming, man. 0-3 to start the year, and they've been blown out twice, and they were down 20 against UNLV only for a late comeback to not happen. So that's a dead team right there. UCLA, I mean, Chip Kelly was the head coach, willingly left to go be an OC somewhere else. Not very good out there on the West Coast. Compared to what USC has in terms of money and cachet and kind of just whole vibe around the program, I don't know, man. UCLA is in a bad place right now.
I would agree with you. It's
who would want that job?
I wouldn't. I mean, how do you compete money? I mean, you'd think UCLA would have a bunch of big time donors, but I don't know how they can compete money wise. Like it just doesn't seem like they have the funds accessible to win.
And I think the funds that are accessible are going to their winning programs. Like men's basketball is a winning program, and women's basketball is a winning program. Volleyball is a winning program. Their baseball team will pop up from time to time. Softball, they just don't invest in football. And if you're tight on money, then yeah, you're probably going to invest in the programs that win.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's tough scene there for UCLA. They are nowhere close to the glory days that saw them win a bunch of games. And God, it's dark over there, man.
Yeah, but you know what? We also said who would want a head coaching job at one of these schools, and we said the same thing about Mississippi State 2 years ago. Who would want the head coaching job at Mississippi State? And sure enough, somebody wants it. I mean, somebody's gonna get it that's gonna be qualified enough to be having that job.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't know. Yeah, I think if I was one of these teams, I would be escorting myself into the D2 level and seeing which kind of wagons these D2 teams have that I could go poach one of these coaches, like Ferris State, Grand Valley, Pitt State. The list goes on for forever. I mean, some of these coaches are qualified to be coaching at a big D1.
Somebody's going to incorporate the Harding triple at some point.
Yeah. And I think that if you put the Harding triple option at Alabama, you have the athletes to run it. That it would probably work a whole lot better than it works for Army, Navy. Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting. But hey, one other game I wanted to talk about. You talked about this on the pregame show last week. Things get weird in Laramie, and they sure as heck did. 3-0 at halftime. Utah was leading Wyoming, and then Utah decided that they were just going to air the ball out in the second half, just let it freaking loose. Yeah,
that was a bad beat. Utah scored late in the fourth quarter to cover the spread. So any Wyoming backers back there, tough to see that. But I think Utah missed 3 first half field goals. So they got into scoring position, couldn't finish. And then on top of that, they missed the kicks to get points on the board. So could be interesting because, I mean, this will be a good segue into what we've got this week. I mean, big noon next week is Texas Tech at Utah, 2 of the best teams in the Big 12. And special teams might matter in that game, given how Texas Tech put points on the board. So it's 2 kicking games that I don't necessarily trust, 2 offenses that, if healthy, I trust a lot. So I don't know, man. We could be in for a banger there. It's Utah's favored by about 3.5 right now.
Yeah.
I would lean their way, given it's at altitude in Utah. It's going to be an early kick out there, 10 a.m. local, so going to be a little bit strange on that regard. I trust Utah a lot, though, man. Coaching, offense, defense especially. Give me Utah. Not super confident in it, but I think Utah wins that football game.
I also like Utah. I think this defense is really, really impressive. So it'll be interesting. I think for the first time in a long time, Utah really has a full team all the way across the board that can really play. And I like them. And I think the Big 12 is really bad, but I think Utah's pretty good.
I think Utah should be the favorite to win that conference right now.
Yeah, I would agree. Utah and BYU. Honestly, BYU has looked good.
Yeah. They haven't played anybody, but I mean, that's true of a lot of them here early.
Yeah.
Some other big early games. We've got TCU hosting SMU, battle for the Iron Skillet here in Fort Worth in my backyard. Maybe I'll pop over to that game. That'll be TCU is about a touchdown favorite right now. That game's going to be points everywhere, though. So I'm looking forward to that one. That'll be entertainment factor is going to be high in that one. Could be very similar to the SMU Baylor game a couple weeks ago.
Just never-ending offense, just an offensive showdown.
That's right. Arkansas goes to Memphis in a strange game. Again, I expect points all over the place there. Arkansas can't stop anybody. I think they're 3-0 to the over this year. So until that stops, I think it's probably a safe bet to just blind bet overs on them.
Yeah, 100%. 62 points looks very low in that one.
Oregon State, Oregon is 5 touchdown favorite in this game. Good grief. 35.5 at home. Love this game though. Back in the day when Oregon State was good, man, those games were so fun. Late night, you'd always get some weird stuff in that one. But this year kind of feels like it's written already. I don't give Oregon State much of a chance there. 0-3, and they have not looked good at all.
Yeah, I think that's an easy layup. I mean,
Chapel Bill goes to UCF to the bounce house. I think UNC is live there. I don't think UCF is very good at all. Granted, I don't think UNC is very good at all either, but I think they're better than UCF.
Yeah, that game could get a little bit Western pretty quick. I think UNC is really bad there. But I mean, it's the battle of probably it's the battle of 6-5 and 5-6. I mean, it's just bad.
Just the battle of mid.
Yeah, these teams are brutally not good. So.
Michigan at Nebraska is going to be fun. Michigan doesn't have their head coach. Sharon Moore still suspended. Is Nebraska ever going to win a big game? No time like the present, I guess. It's a pick 'em. Michigan's favored by 1.5. So
if
we're looking at it.
Would stop coming out and doing Patrick Mahomes hand signals and warm ups and all sorts of stuff, they probably have a better chance of winning. Because I mean, if he wants to go 0-2 like the Kansas City Chiefs, then he just keep warming up the way that Patrick warms up. All right, man.
That's right. That's right. I kind of think Nebraska wins that game. Underwood on the road at Nebraska is going to be a tough place. We'll see how much he learned from that Oklahoma start. That'll be a good learning place for him.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think Michigan is not that good. I think Michigan is pretty much a stinky team in the Big Ten right now. And yes, they won by an outrageous amount of points this past week, but I just don't think they're that good. They're definitely not a contender in any way, shape, or form. That is for sure.
8 wins would be a good year for them.
100%.
The game that I think a lot of people around you are going to be really excited for. Jackson Arnold comes back to Oklahoma. Auburn goes to Norman. OU about a touchdown favorite there. 2:30 next Saturday afternoon.
It's going to be an interesting game. I think Auburn's defense is pretty decent this year, and Auburn's offensive line is good. You also got to worry about Oklahoma's not going to have their defensive end, their best starting defensive end, which I can't think of the name of right now.
R. Mason Thomas. Yeah, he got popped for a targeting in the second half against Temple, so he's going to be out the first half.
He'll miss the first half of the game, so that is tough. But it'll be interesting. You know, Jackson Arnold, if you keep him in the pocket and keep him contained and don't let him run, he will throw you the football. So that's got to be OU's game plan.
Auburn hasn't had to throw it yet, so I imagine this one against OU's defense they'll have to at some point. We'll see if Arnold's taken any steps forward. I don't know if he has. We just haven't had to see it yet.
Yep. I mean, you get to play a middle school defense in Baylor, and then you play 2 nobodies, so it'll be interesting.
Yep. Purdue goes to Notre Dame. Notre Dame's probably going to get the first win there. I think that's probably a hammer town, to be completely honest with you.
That was kind of the game that got our season back on track last year. We went out to Purdue and beat them by, I think it was 56 in a row.
I was about to say, I think it was somewhere in the 50s or 60s.
It was a lot of points to nothing. Yeah. I remember I was at the OU game, and it came up on the scoreboard, and my wife is a big Purdue fan, so I love to give her a little bit of crap about that when it happened. So it's rivalry week in my house.
That's right. That's a tough rivalry there.
Yeah.
South Carolina goes to Missouri. Missouri's a 13-point favorite, so I guess they're thinking Sellers isn't going to play.
Interesting.
Maybe the game of the night. Illinois goes to Indiana. Indiana's a 4.5-point favorite. I'm kind of shocked by that. Two top 20 teams, two teams that I kind of don't think are all that good, especially Illinois. Like they're ninth, and I still don't think they're all that good. So I think Indiana's going to win that game. I like Mendoza more than I like Altmaier. And if Signetti gets the chance to lay a late touchdown on at the end, we know he's going to take that chance. So
Yeah.
I'll take Indiana, but nothing super confident there yet. I need to do some research on it.
That's going to be an interesting game. I would probably stay away from the betting lines on it, but if I was going to bet something, I think this could be a high-scoring game. So 52 kind of feels a little bit low, but I don't know. I'm questionable. I don't know enough about Illinois right now with how they've played and who they've played to have a feel for them.
Washington goes to Washington State after losing last year on a truly horrible play where they ran a speed option to the short side of the field and got absolutely stonewalled. Washington State last seen losing to North Texas by 50. It was 59-10. So they are not a very good football team. Washington is a good football team, so I expect a hammer there, but
yeah,
rivalry games could get weird.
I would totally agree with you. That should be a beatdown. So I will tell you, I really think that an interesting line by Vegas this week is that Miami Florida game.
Just 7.5. Ooh,
yeah,
ooh man.
Miami coming off a huge win against a team that beat Florida, and then you lay the line at 7.5 in Miami is questionable to me. They know something that we do not. They must have gotten leaked the script for this game, so I would like to get a copy if possible.
Yes. Sign me up for a copy of that, please, if you don't mind.
I'll DJ Lagway 4 picks this week. Thank you.
Yeah, just turn him down one. We got to turn the sliders down a little bit. It's a little hard. Arizona State Baylor. I expect there to be 100 points in that game. Baylor can't stop anybody. Arizona State, I wonder about them a bit, especially trying to run the football, but Baylor hasn't shown the ability to stop anything from anybody. So kind of think we're in for Sam Leavitt didn't play well against Mississippi State. Looked pretty good last week against Texas State. I think they'll be in a pretty good spot here, but I expect a ton of points in that game.
I would agree with you there. I would agree. That's 59.5 is the line on that. Seems like there's a lot of good over-unders I can bet on this week, so that's exciting.
Yep. And then the last real interesting one, Michigan State, USC. That's an 11 p.m. body clock kick for Michigan State because that game's kicking off at 8 p.m. in L.A. Could be real sleepy as that one gets to halftime at 12:30 in the morning. But USC's over 2 touchdowns favorite there. I don't know. It's a sneaky spot here because as I finally get USC's schedule pull up, see who they play. They play at Illinois the following week, and that's going to be a big game.
They play Illinois, then they turn around and play another good school.
They go Illinois, then Michigan, then Notre Dame.
Yep.
And then Nebraska at Nebraska. So 4 straight tough games.
4 straight tough weeks, yeah. They could lose 4 games in a row. Very, very liable too.
So we're going to find out what they're made of here in this stretch. They better get this one.
Yeah. Well, Ed, there's no way I'm letting you get off the podcast tonight without asking you if you think Texas has a chance of covering the 41.5-point line against Sam Houston State.
The only way it would happen is because Sam Houston is truly terrible. And when I say that, I mean that they are truly terrible. They are so bad. UTEP would beat them by 2 touchdowns. Okay. And UTEP couldn't do much at all in that game. So, Sam Houston is dreadful. I will say this. I don't think, obviously it looks terrible right now, and you shouldn't have any confidence in Texas because they haven't shown you anything to garner that confidence outside of the defense being just still elite. Yeah. I think they're going to be okay, though. I think they'll be okay. Granted, they've got to start showing it, but you look at the schedule, like their defense is going to keep them in a lot of games. The offense doesn't have to do just a ton. Like, and you look at it, Florida, DJ Lagway, we know what he is. He's electric, but he could also throw you the ball 5 times, just like he did it against LSU.
Yeah.
Mateer's kind of the same way. He's obviously electric too, but he's not afraid to turn the football over for you.
Mhm.
So, look, I'm not going to get – I mean, there's better things to talk about than Texas playing against Helen Keller. But, yeah, I mean, when Arch was throwing like Helen Keller last week, it's a bit concerning.
I think that the big thing that I've been telling people is that Sark knows how to get his team to show up in big-time games. So when SEC play comes along, they're going to be prepared, they're going to be motivated, and they're going to be ready to win football games.
Maybe they're just trying stuff right now because they're doing like so much of their offense right now is under center, which was not a thing with Quinn back in the day. So it's new in that regard. It's new in that there's not a ton of screen game. Like Arch just doesn't throw a ton of screens. Maybe it's the receivers don't have enough juice. I know there's a couple of them that are hurt. They don't have Mosley. DeAndre Moore didn't play last game. I think something's up with Wingo. I think that's the only thing that I can think of with how he looks. And like Livingstone's not going to be that guy. They've got some talented freshmen. I don't think they're ready yet. Maybe they get there as SEC play rolls along. But, yeah, I mean, it just doesn't look like they have a ton of juice right now. But that's why they play the games to figure it out. So I'll trust that they've got 2 weeks before Florida. I think they figure something out. What that something is, I have no idea. But I think they figure something out.
It's like we've talked about 100 times. Offense is all about building a rhythm and getting momentum. And once the momentum gets going, the offense gets going really good. So they need to find a way to get humming this week against Sam Houston, so they're going to be firing all cylinders.
Keep an eye on if you're going to watch Texas, which I don't recommend right now. Just don't. But if you are, they are terrible on 3rd and 4th down right now. I think they're converting less than 30% of their 3rd downs. So if they can figure that out, and especially a lot of the 4th downs are short yardage stuff. It's like 4th and 3s, 4th and 4s that they aren't getting. So if they find something on their 3rd and 4th downs, they'll be okay. But again, it's Sam Houston. They're going to win. Probably won't be able to take much from it, but it'd be nice if they won like 62-7 at least, but I doubt it.
I agree. It'll be. I don't know. I got faith that they can. They haven't shown anything, but they haven't played anything. They're no different to me than Penn State right now. So
yeah. And speaking of Penn State, did you see that touchdown catch that the Villanova guy had on the last play of the game? Nuts.
That and the guy from Ohio on the Ohio State guys the other day.
Yes.
It was right over the top, right around him. It was Ohio State
was kind of
nervous for a second there until they just
13-9. I was like, whoa.
Yep. And then they just decided, yep, we're laying the hammer down. We're done.
Yeah. It was like, that's enough of that. Jeremiah, go do something, bud.
Yeah, here's the football for just catch and run. Simple game.
Yeah. Yeah, it must be nice, right?
That's Alabama's strategy too. They're like, here, Ryan Williams, catch and run, buddy.
Go do something.
I'm gonna throw you slant, you make a play. Okay.
Yep. Well, anything else, sir, before we get out of here? We've got a golf tournament on Friday. I can't wait to go shoot a Scramble 44. That's probably what we'll need to go win.
Yeah, I know. I've heard about some of the guys that are coming out. So 49 might get it done. I know Bryson can't shoot that, but he's not a professional like us. So
that's right.
We'll probably get it done with 49. I honestly, they should allow us to reduce strokes with how many beers we drink because we might shoot like a 3 or a 4. So,
exactly. Exactly. So that'll be a good time Friday morning, I think. Jeez, that'll be a quick turnaround.
Yeah. Well, we're not gonna be able to make it down there until Jaron's coming up to Oklahoma, and then we're driving straight down, but he doesn't get off work until 4, so we probably won't be down there until almost midnight on Thursday.
I was about to say, me and Reed are going to take off from here, and we're not going to get off from work until like, what, 5 or 6? So we'll have to get that planned. We'll because I don't know if we'll wait on you guys to get here, if y'all are just going to go straight there, or how
we'll probably just head straight there, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Sick. That'll be fun. We'll have to we'll have a maybe we'll not sleep at all. Who could say?
Yeah, it's very likely. No sleep needed.
That's right. Just run on birdie juice.
There you go.
Well,
That's how you win.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. At least we'll have some good football for our Saturday of recovery. You've got taxes coming up. I've got customers go meet this week. Big week. Big week.
Oh yeah.
All right, brother. Good to talk to you as always. We'll do it again next Sunday, recapping another week.
Absolutely.
All right, brother.
See ya.